Hi everyone and welcome back to the Crafty Yellow Camper. Hope you all had a nice Christmas and New Year celebrations if you celebrate Christmas and New Year. As you can probably hear, I've spent most of my Christmas full of cold with a nasty cough. So it wasn't quite the celebration I was hoping for, but we still had a lovely time with family and friends. So I'm just hopping on very quickly today just with a quick unboxing video. This stuff actually arrived just before Christmas, but I haven't actually had a chance to do anything with it yet. Partly due to being ill. My plan was to have a play with it between Christmas and New Year and then have some projects to show you. That didn't happen. So I thought I'd just give you a look. So I can't actually show you inside the catalogues yet. This is the new January to April catalogue, so the spring mini, if you like. And this is a Celebration catalogue. So Celebration is something that we run once a year, and you can earn free stuff, basically, with spends. So I'm just going to turn over the back. The sales period for this is the 4th of January, which matches the mini catalogue, until the 29th of February. So there are 2 months of Celebration. And you're going to want it to be 2 months because there are some nice bits and pieces. As I said, I can't show you the inside of either of the catalogues yet, but I can show you some of the stuff that I've received. So I'm just going to pop these out of the way for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some of the items that I've actually purchased from the catalogue. And I really am hoping to feel well enough soon to make some items with them. So I'm going to show you the pairings, if you like, first of all. So this is a new stamp set called Notes of Nature. It's got some lovely little leafy and florally images in it, but something I really like are these sort of grungy images. So there's this one that's like grid paper, I suppose. This one's got some text on it, says field notes, and a good old bit of splatter. Splatter is always really useful. And the greetings are nice as well. Today's all about you. Happy birthday. Thanks for making me smile. And just a little note to say hello. And actually, don't forget that with any of these greetings, you can mix and match them around by colouring them with our blends. No, ignore me. By colouring them with our Stampin' Write markers. Do not colour your stamps with blends. So you could say just a little note to say, and then put thanks in the end there. Okay, this one comes with some dies. I promise I'll try not to make this too long-winded. The thing I liked about this was it'd be really good for backgrounds as well as standalone cards, because often you just want a little bit of something in the background if you're not using patterned paper. Okay, so these are the Notes of Nature dies, and I really like the fact that Stampin' Up! Have got their head round cool, and the dies the same thing as the stamp set. Okay, so these are the dies. This is another one of the reasons I bought this set. I really love this long, leafy vine, I suppose. You've got some dies that cut out the images. So this one, and this one. And then there are some extra dies. So there's these cute little leaves and some more leaves there. And then there's this, which is meant to look like a notebook edging. So I can see that being really useful in the future. So I'm just going to pop those back in. I put my dies usually in the back of the paper that tells you what it is, but I just turn them round in the case so it makes it easier to do it up. I know that means that the information is backwards, but it works for me. I'm left-handed, so maybe that's why. But then I can pick these up and look at that and think, oh yeah, I can use that die. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one I got is this. I love ferns. So this is called Wild Ferns. And again, I don't know who has designed these stamp sets, but again, they've put a little bit of a sort of background stamp. It's Hessian, which is really nice and will be really nice for backgrounds. And again, you've got some really useful greetings in this. Wishing you well today, tomorrow, and every day that follows. Here's to new beginnings. Great for New Year. You are greatly appreciated. Heartfelt condolences and thank you. Now, condolences cards, unfortunately, seem to be something I'm making more of lately. I think it's to do with the passing of my age. But I didn't have a specific condolences stamp, so that was one of the things that drew me to this. The other thing that did were the dies, which are fabulous. So again, you've got dies that will cut out these 4 fern images, and then there are loads of other bits as well. So there's loads of little leafy bits, some of which actually will coordinate quite nicely with this. And then there's these edges, these corners. How lovely are they? I've already got several ideas running through my head to use those. And then these cute little rectangular beaded frames. So again, I can see lots of ideas for that. I just need to feel well enough to actually make some. Okay, this is the next set I got, Inspirational Sketches. This doesn't come with any dies. And again, it's got that nice little sort of background, almost scribbly, brush marky thing. And some nice greetings. Grateful for you. Enjoy the journey. Thank you for everything. Some really nice images. They'll be really great for colouring. Watercolour, using the blends with, or using the Stampin' Write markers. Yeah, I think they're going to be really nice. So I was quite pleased with that. And this one is a red rubber stamp set. Sorry, I didn't tell you what the others were. Wild Ferns is also a red rubber. And Notes of Nature is also a red rubber. Photopolymer has its place, but I do really like red rubber because it's a bit more meaty, I suppose. Now this is a stamp set that I couldn't resist. I don't personally have a dog, but I have a lot of friends that do. It'd be quite nice if they did a cat version of this, actually, because I do have a cat. I've got a lot of friends that have dogs, and to be fair, most of the ladies that come to my classes have got dogs. In fact, one of the ladies that comes to my classes, her daughter, amongst other things, is a dog walker. So I think there's going to be an awful lot of people wanting this when the catalogue goes live. It's one big stamp. So it's a big background stamp. I've already seen it being used for Christmas cards. As demonstrators, we could get our pre-order early. And I've seen 1 or 2 where people have used a little Christmas hat. I think some people had used the Christmas hat off the polar bear on some of the smaller dogs. And I do still have a Santa hat punch, which was a Christmas punch quite a long time ago, obviously long since retired. But, you know, it isn't difficult to cut out a hat shape. So, I mean, there's lots of different dogs in there. I can see German Shepherds. I can see Great Dane. That almost looks like a, oh, goodness me, the one that has the whiskey barrel around its neck on the Swiss slopes. I can't remember what it's called. There's a pug there. There's a little Chihuahua. That looks like a Labradoodle. Yeah, a bulldog. So there's lots and lots. Oh, that looks like a spaniel, doesn't it? Lots and lots of different dogs on there. So I can see that coming in useful. Now this is one of the other things that I got. Now this is actually an embossing folder with dies. We've had embossing folders before that cut out. Sorry, I'm just trying to see where to open it. Oh, and that was red rubber, obviously, that dog. So I seem to have picked mainly red rubber this time. Okay, so this is something that we've done before, but not for text. So there have been a couple of embossing folders that came with matching dies in the past. There was the Friends Are Like Seashells embossing folder and die that went with the stamp set. And there are some others that come with a die. There's another new one in the catalogue that comes with a die that matches an embossing folder. And we have had another one aside from the seashells. I can't think what it was. I've used it recently, but I can't think what it was. It's terrible, isn't it? I think it was a Christmas one, actually. Anyway, so this embossing folder has got, thank you, oh happy day, thinking of you, love you, hello, with sympathy, celebrate just because you make me happy and get well. Again, all nice, useful sentiments. And then the die. So this is the embossing folder. So it's a 3D embossing folder. Oh, actually, no, it isn't. It's a hybrid embossing folder. It's not a 3D one. I will actually do a video on how to use this because I think there might be a few confused people. but I'll just show you it for now. So this basically is the die. Okay, so that is going to cut out all the edge shapes for these sentiments that are on the die, on the embossing folder. But it's also got, again, some leaves, some flowers. I'll hold that up so you can see this is cute. Little tiny rainbow and clouds, some stars, a few more clouds there, more flowers, some hearts, another rainbow. So the people at Stampin' Up have given us doubles of some of them. So like there's 2 rainbows. Those flowers are similar to those ones. 2 lots of clouds, 2 lots of rainbows. Anyway, so what you do is you actually run them through together. As I said, I will film a video to show you, but this is the embossing folder. So you can, hopefully you can see that, you can just run that through and have all these words. And then what you can do is cut them out with this to use on your cards. But you could just use parts of this for backgrounds, which would be really nice as well. Okay, so as I said, I will do a video on that and post that on my YouTube. That's one of the ones I'm most excited to play with. Just a little tip, if you like to keep your embossing folders in the plastic to protect them, which I do, always fold down the sticky edge on the plastic, otherwise you're going to have trouble getting it in and out without sticking it. I'm having trouble anyway, without sticking the sticky, there we go, to the paper and ripping it. Okay, so put that away for now. And as I said, I promise when I feel up to it, I will record a video on how to use that and some cards using it. Oh my goodness me. Why is it when you've got a cold you can't do simple tasks? Like closing an envelope. Okay. Okay. One other set of dies I got, and I haven't actually got the stamp set to go with this yet, but I bought the dies because I really, really liked them. I'll just get them out of the packet and I can open them up and show you. They are called Delicate Forest dies. And this is what they are. I don't know if anybody remembers Grassy Grove. It did go over into the annual catalogue last summer. And so it's still current. And I think they've built on the success of that one because it was really popular. We also had the Aspen Tree, which again I think went over, was a Christmas set with a robin, and it did go over into the annual catalogue last summer with Grassy Grove. So they are both still available, but they both had these almost window-esque dies. And sadly our diorama dies retired, but I think with this, the same as I've done it with the Grassy Grove and with the Aspen Tree dies, you've got so much scope for making a diorama style card using this. And looking at it, there is no edge all the way around this die. If I hold it up, you can see that these raised sections here are the cutting edges. So that will just cut that pattern out of a piece of cardstock. And then there are these sort of lines with sprigs coming off them, which are really nice. So I'm looking forward to having a play with that. I will get the stamp set to go with it, but I had to be a little bit careful. Had to restrain myself. Okay. The last couple of things I've got to show you are some embellishments. So these are some new butterflies. They're laser cut. They are paper. I'm just going to open them up to show you. Now, as demonstrators, as I said before, we get to do a pre-order before the catalogue goes live. We're only allowed to buy 1 each of stamp sets and dies and embossing folders, but we are allowed to have 2 of what are termed consumables. So they're things that can't be used over and over again. So I did buy 2 of those because I really like them. But they are the same, in case you were wondering. Right, I'm just going to try and get these out without ruining the packaging so I can put them back in again. So as I said, they are laser cut. I think I'm going to struggle to get them out. There we go. Okay, so all the sheets are the same. And in each sheet you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different butterflies, and they're really delicate. Hopefully you can see that. Made of paper, so they can be inked, they can be sprayed, they can be blended over. They're really, really pretty. They are quite delicate, so you are going to have to be a bit careful with them. But I really like those. So they are called Paper Butterfly Accents, and you actually get 40 in a pack, and they weren't hellishly expensive. So I'm looking forward to using those with my ladies. I know that they're all going to love them. Obviously, I say ladies because we don't have any gents come and craft with us, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't love to be joined in our little group by some gentlemen if they wanted to come and learn how to make cards. I always think my ladies should send their husbands once a year just to, so they can make a card for them. So they get a lovely handmade card, because they all make handmade cards for their friends and their family, but unless I send them one or another female friend, they don't very often get one. Perhaps I should suggest it. And then the other thing I got were these. These are called Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. Now these go with a whole suite. Again, as I said, I had to show some restraint. And the suite is a lavender suite with stamp set, papers, dies. It's beautiful. I will get it, but I could not resist adding these little purple gems into my order. Purple is one of my favourite colours. There aren't many colours I don't like. Black is probably the only one, but then obviously that has its uses. But these are they. Hopefully you can see them. So you've got 3 different colours, and I'm guessing that is fresh, no, not fresh freesia. Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grey, and what is that other one? It should tell me on the back. Come on, you normally do tell me. Oh, it doesn't actually. I'm wondering whether that's Rich Razzleberry. I'm sat here looking at my, Berry Burst possibly. I'm sat here looking at my ink pads thinking which are those. Yeah, I think that might possibly be Berry Burst. But they're absolutely gorgeous. I dare say there will be other packets of those added to my order at some point. You can see me using those a lot. Okay, right, now on to the freebies. As I mentioned before, sorry, these are the cellophane. I'm just going to give you this tip I use. These are the cellophane packets that come on the dies, and I keep these because I use them for popping parts of cards in. So when I'm making up my packs for my card classes, which are in-person classes, they're not in the post, if there's a lot of small parts that I've already pre-cut, or if I know that the ladies that are coming to join me are going to have to be cutting a lot of small parts, I often pop one of these in their kits so they can die cut them, pop them in there, so we're not searching on the table for them, or worse still, on the floor. So, as I said, I always keep those. I like to recycle and reuse. Okay, so on to the freebies. So, for every £45 that you spend in the catalogue, you can choose something for free. Some of the items are a £90 spend. So, these papers are both a £45 spend. I'll open them up so I can just give you a quick look at them. So this one, this coordinates with a stamp set and some dies, which are on my wish list. I haven't opened them already. All right. I'll be honest, I've sort of forgotten what I'd got. Okay, let's put the scissors away. Let's just pull these out. So, first of all, unusually for those gems, but normally on the back of papers, it tells you what colours are included. So, this one has got Basic Black, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Grey Granite, Lost Lagoon, and Poppy Parade. Great for the men in your life, or the women that like DIY. So, there's 2 of each design, and all of the papers are double-sided. So we've got this one that's got all these tools on there, and I wouldn't mind betting that at some point some of these correspond with some dies. And then there's this one that's sort of like an inky grid paper. There's this one that's lots of small screwdrivers, and that's got that sort of messy background again. There's this one which is little hammers with nails, which is really cute. If I can get on, there you go. Hopefully I can get that to zoom in enough. And on the back of that, all these little nuts and bolts. Now this one, this reminded me, as soon as I saw this, this reminded me of the Snap-on tool cases. So I can see that being quite useful with the set that goes with this. And on the back of that are some screws and nuts and bolts. And then there's this one, which is a tape measure, but with no numbers. And on the back of that, we've got this dotty one, which reminded me of pegboard that you have sometimes up in a workshop to peg your things on. And then there's this last one, which is more tools, but different to the first one. And that one, again, has got a plain blue background. So they're quite nice. I can see those being very useful. I mean, you could make a card for the man in your life if he's a DIY without actually having the stamp set and dies with some of those papers, but I dare say they will find their way into my box on my next order. And then there are these. So these are called Flight and Airy papers. They have Boho Blue, Bubble Bath, Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie and Soft Seafoam. My goodness, there's lots of colours in there. I should have told you, actually, the toolbox one's called Trusty Toolbox. So I suspect that the stamp set will be called something very similar. Let's have a little look at these. So again, these are double-sided. Not all Stampin' Up! Papers are double-sided. Most of them are, but there are some speciality ones that aren't. Okay, so with these ones, we've got these cute little birds. In the Celebration brochure, they show a photopolymer stamp next to this, but I haven't managed to work out which stamp set it is yet. I've got to have a look through the annual catalogue because I couldn't find one with a bird like this in the mini catalogue, so I think it might be one in the annual, so I'll have a look. That's got this sort of tiled effect on the back. This one's really cute. I mean, how cute would this be for an anniversary card or a wedding card, or an engagement card? And that's got these lovely leaves in Lost Lagoon on the back. And there's this one. They're very spring-like, aren't they? And that's got this sort of watercolour blue on the back. And then this one, again, you could use a circle cut out of this round those two birds would make a really nice wedding or anniversary card. And on the back of that, you've got some little ditzy florals, very reminiscent of sort of 40s dress patterns, that one is. And again, here we've got little groups of birds in amongst some lovely flowers. These flowers remind me of the artistically inked flowers. And on the back of that, there's this really cool sort of watercolour purple effect. And then this one's really cute. Lots of little fat birdies, all full up with seeds and nuts from the spring. And on the back of that is, again, some more florals. So I think those will be quite useful. I'm just going to stick one of the bird papers back at the front of that. Okay, let's just put these back in their packaging if I can find where I opened it. Where did I open it? Oh, there. So lots of lovely colours in there, and these can both of these sets of papers can be yours with a £45 spend. So really one stamp set and some dies and you're there. Okay, and then this is the last one that I got. Now I'm just going to check my brochure without showing it to you because I think this might have been a £90 spend. It's called Detailed Dogwood. Yes, that was a £90 spend. So you need 2 lots of your 45s to get this, but it is a red rubber stamp set and it's got some really lovely images. There's this really nice big dog rose, and then you've got the buds, some nice leaves, this cute little dragonfly that's got text on its wings, and then these other little images, again, some nice background images, this dotty border, and this little piece of almost Hessian, the little and the little label, which are really cute. So again, I can see some nice uses for that. Okay, so they're all the bits and pieces that I got from my pre-order. And as I said before, hopefully I will feel well enough to come back on and make some cards with them soon, and share some of the things you can do with them. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at some of the new product, and I'll be back again soon. Thanks for watching and happy stamping. Bye for now.